To brew or not to brew, that is the eternal question. Welcome in, much love, Trav here, Magic for Good. And let's talk about when it is in your best interest to spend time trying to create something new, brew something up, some kind of unique deck strategy, and when it is counterproductive because it doesn't align with everyone's goals and it's not viable all the time. And a lot of players actually sabotage themselves and hold themselves back by having to create something rather than work with a team or take something established or tweak a net deck. And we had a conversation about creation attachment, but this is kind of a related but separate topic. So people look at me sometimes and see a brewer, someone who comes up with new ideas and stuff like that because of Living End. Yo, Trav, you made this deck that people are still playing 6 years later. I want to do that. And while I did do that, that is just one out of many ways I qualified for and succeeded in tournament Magic that is quite unique. I mean, Living End, for one, a lot of people were coming up with that idea at the same time because it was just a tweak of the Hypergenesis deck. Recently, I played with a blue-red control deck that a lot of teams worked on at the Pro Tour successfully. Had a black-white Planeswalker deck. I took second to Portland, which was just a tweak on existing decks. You know, there's two separate things that I'm doing when I'm building decks and when I'm playing decks. A lot of my decks are for entertainment, and that's clear. A lot of my decks are for fun. A lot of my decks are to do something new or try something out or express something. A lot of them are not about winning tournament Magic. And if they were, then I would be setting myself up to fail, right? So, Jesus, Harambe. So we need to be clear what our goals are. If your goal is to do new things and be flashy, be entertainer, get clicks, then it does make sense to brew. But if your goal is to win, then you're going to waste a lot of time by isolating yourself, by trying to reinvent the wheel, by not leveraging other people's work, by not leveraging the crowd resource, by not leveraging established decks that people put time into, studying existing matchup plans, studying the gameplay videos, studying the feature matches, right? When you're creating something new, you're reinventing the wheel, and no one else has any idea how it plays, so they're not going to be able to tell you. You're going to have to figure out all the plans yourself, all the matchups yourself. It might take you 20, 30, 40, 50 hours to find out it's not really viable, and then you get creation attachment, and that's a problem, right? So there is the issue. And then if your goal is to get clicks or get attention or whatever, winning is a good way to do that. And if you're holding yourself back from winning, then that sucks. You shouldn't do that. But Trav, you're a brewer. Don't tell me that it can't be done, that it's not possible. Let's talk about time windows. So, Living End came about through a rotating extended format, right? I'm not really trying to reinvent stuff in Modern right now because there's no rotations. Most stuff has been discovered. When a new set comes out, I might pick something from the new set, like a couple cards, and try to build with those. But for the most part, I'm waiting for specific opportunities where the window opens. Same with Standard. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel and brew mid-season for Constructed, for tournament play. I'm doing it right at the rotation, before the first SCG, before the Pro Tour. That's when. So if you really, really, really want to be a designer, a developer, a brewer, go to Grand Prix right at the start of the season. Go to the Pro Tour is the best place to do it. But even then, you should probably work with a team. And if someone on your team is a better deck, then drop your ego, drop the deck, play that instead if you want to win and be part of something. So that's some things to think about. Think about really what your goal in Magic is and how to get there. And if trying to create something new when you don't have to is the fastest route there. And If it is, then wait for those windows and be clear when that window is open, when it's closed. Like mid-season right now, I'm working on updating somewhat established decks. Or, you know, you can be rogue. There's so many options out there, but that's just something to think about. I'm not telling you don't brew, don't try to create something new. I'm telling you that it doesn't always make sense for what you're trying to do right now, and there's certain times when it's going to work a lot better than others. So I hope you found that useful and you can run with it. Now, what to do if you do want to brew, you do want to build decks, and you just want to improve existing decks as well, then the free workshop will help you to build better decks, and the ebook will help you as well to build better decks. And we'll talk about building decks from scratch in there, but we also talk about just improving anything, tuning anything, etc., etc. And these are good skills to have when the window opens and when it aligns with what you're trying to do. Hope you find that useful. Much love. See you on the inside, and have an amazing, amazing time. Much love. Magic for good.